Yo, what's up? Welcome to the Ant-Man channel. It is Friday. Am I wrong? It is Friday. Wow. Friday the 12th of September 2014, and I'm your host, Ant-Man. How you guys doing? I got a article here from the Times of Israel. This article title really got my attention. It is by Avi Issa Charaf. I don't know how to say it, but he wrote this article, and the title really caught my attention because, well, first of all, I just want to say it's funny that I just watched a video with Bill Maher defending the Christian faith. I mean, am I sleeping? Because I mean, really, it's really amazing, kind of refreshing to see a guy like Bill Maher, probably atheist, probably agnostic or whatever, but at least he understands the difference between Islam and Christianity. Charlie Rose was talking to him, and he was like saying that he was comparing Christianity to Islam, and saying that the Quran doesn't teach the Muslims it doesn't teach them to go around killing people or for leaving their religion. I mean, I don't know how ignorant you can actually be, but that's pretty ignorant. Like there's a difference between wanting. That's like wishful thinking. I don't believe Charlie Rose is that stupid. I believe that he doesn't. You see, when you have that much influence, you have people, other interests, kind of influencing you. For example, there's probably some liberal that tells him these things, and he probably wants to agree with him for a certain reason, just so. Flattering and bribing people is why that's corruption. The corruption comes from there. Money, giving titles or positions of people for having certain views and beliefs, and that's just having your eyes closed. You know what I mean? It's like saying, just don't pay attention to reality and just kind of take this money or whatever. But I don't believe that you can be that stupid. The Quran absolutely teaches everybody to attack people. But here we have the article of the day, I guess. Weak leadership in U.S. Israel is making region more dangerous. Obama insists on tackling IS, not Iran, while Netanyahu does nothing to keep the West Bank from deteriorating. I don't know, with all with the craziness going on these days, the only place one would have to look to know what's going on and where we're at is to the Holy Land. You look to Israel and you see kind of that gives you kind of a timetable of where we're at in our day. And because Israel plays a big part of prophecy and revelation and all that, like it just has to do with a lot of the stuff that leads up toward the end times. When you got Israel saying that we got weak leadership and that we're saying, by the way that this title is put, that we're saying that Israel is the reason why the Middle East is in such, we cannot be sympathizers with the enemy. You see, we've also grown up in a culture here in the United States where if somebody is misbehaving, people have misplaced compassion on those type of people, and they just say, oh, boys will be boys or whatever, and you never discipline them. But in this case, it is relatable because instead of dealing with the problem in the United States, instead of dealing with our problems, our presidents throw money at our problems as if they will go away if you throw money at them, and it's not going to happen that way. We need to be educated, and I always say that it's a good thing to want to inform people and stuff, but I know a lot of people out there, they say that that's no good. And that the Revolutionary War was won with a small number of people, and that's true. It was a minority. People like Gandhi, people with great influence, even Jesus, they started almost like little minorities, you know what I mean? Because they had a movement against the popular thought or what was going on in their day. But let me just get into this. Plenty has been written in recent years about the foreign policy of U.S. President Barack Obama's administration, especially regarding the Middle East. Still, he never fails to surprise us anew, time and again, with his hesitancy in dealing with regional problems. Only 2 weeks ago, Obama acknowledged that America did not have a strategy for countering the Islamic State. Presumably, setting up such a strategy for dealing with the murderous organization would require considerable thought. Yet on Wednesday, Obama presented his strategic plan, which any Middle Easterner who didn't support IS, I guess is what we're calling it now, could have come up with long ago. Intensification of strikes against IS everywhere, including Syria. Finally, more support for those it really does say finally there. More support for those fighting IS on the ground. The Iraqi army, the Kurds, and the Syrian opposition groups that have been begging the U.S. administration for help for years, which Washington refused, drying up IS financial sources, improving intelligence, and providing humanitarian aid to residents of the region harmed by the organization's actions. And I have something to add. Obama said that the ISIS extremist militant group, they are not Islamic. And you know what the crazy thing about what Obama said is that that's probably true. They're not, and we already know that Muslims, what they believe and whatnot. But I think that the ISIS militants are separate from the Muslims. I am not kidding. I know that you guys are probably going to be like, what are you talking about? And of course they're Muslim and this and that. Yeah, sure, they probably are Muslim, but they have also adopted a type of pagan religion where they are serving some type of entity. And I'm not kidding. This is kind of hard to research and stuff, but this is demonic. And let me remind you guys that the book of Revelation, Turkey is the grand. You need to watch Turkey if you understand where the where prophecy lines up. It really does come back to Turkey because it has to do with the caliphate. The caliphate is someone who leads. You got to remember something, you guys. America's only been around for, 200 years? Do you guys remember the Ottoman Empire? Do you guys ever, if you guys love history and you guys have done history, you know that there has been times in the world where Islam really did rule. They did have control of a lot of things. And the caliphate was that ruler, and they missed that. That's actually why the Sunnis and the Shiites are always fighting, because that's why they're beheading each other all the time, is because they believe that the imam or the caliphate comes, that it's in their lineage or whatever. It's theirs. And they argue over that. I don't remember the guys that are named or whatever, but if there's one key person I would like you to underline, it would be Erdogan. Yeah, I don't know if that's how you say it, Erdogan. The guy that is president in Turkey right now. That is huge prophecy stuff, dude, because it's hard to understand. I'm not a prophet. I don't really think of myself as a prophet at all, but when I look at that kind of stuff, it's like that is where that caliphate Islamic State stuff had its, I wouldn't say origins, but where it well, actually, yeah, we could go back before it was even called Turkey. And I mean, this, you guys, I would say if you're interested in that kind of stuff, go look it up. I'm not the most informed about that kind of stuff anyway. It's hard to understand how the White House views of the Middle East are shaped. Excuse me. Certainly the administration has repeatedly shown weakness in the region. This began when Obama came into office and chose to attack Israel and the settlements in a way that caused the Palestinian Authority, which could hardly afford to be less critical of Israel than the Jewish state's chief ally was being, to present an ultimatum: either a settlement freeze in the West Bank and East Jerusalem or no peace talks. In Egypt, the White House then stood up against then-President Hosni Mubarak, while treating the Muslim Brotherhood with respect, and later Obama gave President-elect Abdel Fattah el-Sisi the cold shoulder. He also ignored for too long Syrian President Bashar Assad's use of chemical weapons against his own citizens. That's unbelievable. But in the case of IS, the administration broke its own records for cynicism and misplaced priorities. The president asserted this week that the Islamic State presents a greater danger to the region than Iran. Yes, that Toyota army, with no more than 32,000 fighters in total, ostensibly threatens the Middle East more than a threshold nuclear power like Iran. which turns terror cells in every corner of the globe. Iran with its operatives in Lebanon, Iraq, Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Gaza, Sinai, North Africa, South and Central America, and even in Europe is less dangerous than IS. Obama has found himself an enemy to fight. If the president can't handle the biggest problems in the region, at least he'll make sure he settles the score with the guys with guns driving around in Toyotas. Yeah, I mean, I guess I see what he's saying here. Should we back Israel? Sure, yeah. Should we also address the whole humanitarian issue of ISIS? Absolutely. These guys are out of their minds. And there's actually idiots out there joining these people. So you got to understand that this needs to be stopped. It's time that the world wakes up, because if you're a good person, you gotta get over the notion that being a good person means that you are passive aggressive, that you let people get away with murder, because you cannot do that. And the sensitivity level on everybody these days, it's like, because I'm a Christian, I have to be like a complete eunuch for you, because that's how ignorant people are these days. Is that I cannot abuse my liberties, I have to maintain total self-control over my body, because I cannot indulge myself in pleasures and stuff like that, because I have to set a good example and a testimony for you, because people out there are way too ignorant these days. It's funny how Paul says, nothing you put in your mouth makes you unclean. It's what comes out of your mouth that makes you unclean, because the intentions of the heart are dark, and if you have bad intentions with the words that you say, then you are unclean. And those that are pure, everything is pure. I mean, but nobody says these things. I mean, for the Christian, it's like you got to be a total weirdo religious person, but it's not true. And for you guys out there, don't look at me. Don't look at me for the example of perfection. And I'm not perfect. No Christian is. You look to the Lord Jesus Christ. He is perfection. So don't look at me and say, oh, well, he's not a good example of Christianity. Who is? Who is? And you don't even understand the basic principles of my religion, if you will. If you think that it's up to me to give you that, I will never live up to that expectation, my friend. I'm sorry. I will never live up to the expectation you want me to. But at the same time, you can't hold my feet to the fire either. Jesus Christ was one of the most gentle, compassionate people who cared about not just your dignity, but your reputation in the eyes of others. And I mean, go look at the story of the wealthy young ruler, because I mean, if you've ever seen Grace before, go read that part of the Bible, because in dealing with a self-righteous person, Jesus, the way that he dealt with that situation, running him through the law and showing him that he doesn't live up to the law, blows my mind. Because if you try to show the law to anybody, you're not going to get the response that, I mean, you're not going to ever be that good with the law, I think, as Jesus was. That he did a genius thing for us there, set an example of how to do it, and it's just amazing how gentle and you know, like, that's the word, gentle he was with showing the law to somebody and showing somebody's self-righteousness, and that nobody lives up to the law. Nobody does. So, with that said, good guys need to stand up and not be afraid to get in a fight, because the Christians out there that are afraid of persecution are the ones that sell you out, and that's in history as well. Israel has its own leadership problems as well. If you guys want to check out this article, it's Times of Israel. You know, what is the issue here with Obama? Well, Obama is a Muslim. Of course he's not going to want to go after his own people. Is he going to say, I'm a Muslim? No, he's not going to go on the television for you yuppies and say, I'm a Muslim, so... No, because, see, first of all, if you don't even know what being a Muslim is, then you need to know that this isn't a good religion. No religion is good, period. All religion is horrible. And Christianity is not a religion in my honest opinion. It's the truth. And if you can't get over that fact, then those out there that say religion is nothing but holds society back and advancement and all that, you're right. It is. That is the truth. But you cannot mingle in the truth with religion, because religion there's a difference between studying theology and studying religion, because religion is something that people do traditionally in their customs and whatever their benedictions are, whatever, right? But theology is about what you believe, and the Muslims believe that if you believe that Jesus Christ is Lord and that the prophet Muhammad was a pedophile weirdo, then you deserve to get your head chopped off. There should be no sympathy for these people. Are you out of your mind? But anyways, if you guys like my channel, come check me out. I'm going to post up some more videos today, and subscribe. God bless you.